the I Am Academy. I Am Mindset. You know, we have a young man with us, Juan Diego Jimenez. Is that right?
Yeah,
Is Juan here?
I'm just bringing him in right now.
Okay. Well, Juan is he's moving in this company. He is a Chairman 250. That is nothing to sneeze at. That is a really good spot. And is Juan here yet? Is he in here?
Yes, I am.
We'll bring him on the screen here, Scott.
Sorry, I didn't know.
There he is. How you doing?
Doing great. Very honored to be here today.
You're a young guy. How old are you?
I'm 27 right now.
27. God, we had a
27.
man on last week. He was only 23. How long you been with the IM?
4 years and a half. Almost 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I started with Alex Morton.
You started with
Yes.
Alex, did you?
Yeah, and I'm from Costa Rica. I'm literally from the jungle in Costa Rica.
Uh-huh.
I didn't knew anything about about business or network marketing until I met him through social media.
Alex is an extraordinary young guy. Alex and I have been friends for a long time. And he must have taught you how to do this business right, did he?
Yeah, he has been my number one mentor.
What do you do with all your money?
I've been doing real estate, and in the past 2 years, I've been investing in cryptocurrency and the stock market because I like financial markets as well. As you can see my my screens all over.
That's so good. That's really good. Well, listen, I want to congratulate you, and I want to thank you for coming on here.
Appreciate it.
I'll go through some ideas, through some things, and then let you and I chat about it. And if you have some questions, then we'll field the questions. How's that?
It'd be amazing.
That'd be great.
Great.
Well, I'm really pleased to have you on here, Juan. And here we are. You know, that's very good. Young guy from the jungle in Costa Rica, and here he's doing a Chairman 250. You know, I think that's exactly the way everybody should do it. Look here for a moment. I want you to make today your decision day. Decide exactly what you're going to do. What do you really want? You know, don't fool around with this. This is too important just to take lightly. You've got to really put it to work. All right? Now think. You're in a company that deals in big money. And you can earn big money. I want to read you something. I had a mentor. His name is Napoleon Hill. And his mentor was Andrew Carnegie. And he got me studying this book, and I'm something like you, Juan. I took off like a rocket and started to earn a lot of money. And I really enjoy the lifestyle I have, but I do a lot of good with it. And we help a lot of people. Let me read you what he said about big money. He said, when money comes in quantities known as the big money, it flows to the one who accumulates it as easily as water flows downhill. Now, he said there exists a great unseen stream of power, which may be compared to a river, except one side flows in one direction, carrying all who get into that side of the stream onward and upward to wealth, and the other side flows in the opposite direction, carrying all who are unfortunate enough to get into that side of the stream and unable to extricate themselves from it, and they go down to poverty. Every person who has accumulated a great fortune has recognized this existence of this stream of power. It consists of one's thinking process. The positive emotions of thought form the side of the stream which carries one down to fortune. The negative emotion forms the side which carries one down to poverty. Now, this carries a thought of stupendous achievement to the person who is following this with the object of accumulating a fortune. If you're on the side of the stream of power, which leads to poverty, this may serve as an oar which may propel you over onto the other side of the stream. It can serve you only through application and use. Merely reading and passing judgment on it, one way or another, is of absolutely no benefit. Poverty and riches often change places. Poverty may, and generally does, voluntarily take the place of riches. When riches take the place of poverty, the change is usually brought about through well-conceived and carefully executed plans. Poverty needs no plan. It needs no one to guide it or aid it. Poverty is boldless and ruthless. Its riches are shy and timid. They have to be attracted. Now, I'm going to share some ideas with you, and if you follow them, some phenomenal things will happen to you. Just look here for a moment. You can, without question, in the IM Academy, you can actually create your own economy. I think Juan has here, and we'll talk to him after we're through some of these ideas. Now, this is something I have learned. I want you to burn this into your mind. You are the only problem you will ever have. You are. And you are the only solution to that problem. When you think someone else or something else is a problem, you're on the wrong track. You're the only problem you will ever have, and you're the only solution. Now, the first time I heard that, I thought the guy was crazy. I didn't even think it made sense. And I was about to tell him, but I didn't want to embarrass him. It took me a couple of years to understand this. Whenever you find a person blaming anything, conditions, circumstance, other people, you know that person's on the wrong track. People that blame they lose. They lose in a very big way. You're the only problem you'll ever have, and you're the only solution. It's all about the mind. Your marvelous mind. So let's take a look at it. Let's really take a look at the mind. Now here's Juan, Jimenez, coming out of the jungle of Costa Rica, and he can understand this. Because this is made for anyone to understand. We're going to talk about the mind and paradigms. In 1934, by the way, that was the year I was born, in 1934, Thurman Fleet was involved in the healing arts and holistic health. And he stated the mind is an activity, it's not a thing. No one has ever seen the mind. In order to gain clarity and eliminate confusion, he said, I'm going to create an image that'll help you with the mind. Now look at this. This is an image of the mind. And I'm going to tell you, it's worth its weight in fortune in gold to you. Look here for a moment. We'll take the mind, we'll divide it into two parts. There's the conscious mind, and there's the subconscious mind. And the body is the instrument of the mind. Now listen, on the 21st of October last year, I started my 60th year of studying this. 60 years. That's a long time. I was born in 1934. That's when this doctor really got it going. And I'm going to tell you something. This diagram is without question the most valuable idea I've ever learned. And Juan, if you go and ask Alec Morton, he would tell you, no, Bob's right. This is the most valuable idea that you can learn. So let's stick to it for a moment. Here we are here. There's the conscious, the subconscious, and the body. Now, the conscious mind is the thinking mind. It can think. The conscious mind is your educated mind. This is also where the intellect is resident. Now, the subconscious is quite different. It's the emotional mind. It operates a whole lot different than the conscious mind. The conscious mind has the ability to choose. See, when it can think, it can choose. It has the ability to accept or reject information. The conscious mind has the ability to originate information. When you turn an idea over to the subconscious mind must accept it. It has absolutely no ability to reject it. And I want you to understand this. It cannot differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. This is very important information. Now, with that information in mind, let's take a look at this. Here we are here. Keep in mind what I just taught you there just a second ago. Here's the media, other people, Netflix. They're inundating you with all kinds of negative stuff. But you can think because you have a conscious mind. You can think. And as this idea comes to you, you have the ability to say, get out of here. But you know something? Only about 5 people in 100 do that. 95% of the population never do that. Should they? Yeah, they should. This is what they do. They don't think, and they let this stuff come right into their mind because they're not thinking. Their subconscious mind has been programmed. It has a paradigm. Now understand this. The paradigm controls most people's lives. The paradigm is nothing but a multitude of ideas that are fixed in the subconscious mind. Now, it's rather sad. The paradigm is a program in your subconscious mind, and the people that were writing the code for the program knew nothing about what they were doing. Stop and think of the people you were surrounded with when you were a little kid. They're the ones that was programming your mind. Now, look here for a moment. That's now. We're going to close the curtain on that. Look over here. This is you as an infant. This is you when you arrived on the scene. Your subconscious mind is wide open, and everything's dumping right in there. No one was guarding your subconscious mind. And pretty soon, there was a paradigm built. And here we are later, growing up, living with that paradigm. You see, when that paradigm was built, the people who were putting the ideas in there, they really didn't know what they were doing. They were just dumping stuff in there, dumping it in. Didn't know anything about what they were doing. It's rather sad, but that's the way it is. And here you are here, years later, and that program is still controlling you to a very large degree. Now, I'm going to show you how to change that. Look here for a moment. There's the mind. There's the body. And let's change it. Let's say there's the conscious mind and the subconscious. Now, the conscious mind can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. It has sensory factors. They pick up information from outside and feed it into your mind. But here's what we want to know. Beside those sensory factors, the conscious mind is also the intellectual mind. And we have intellectual factors. We have perception, the will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason. The problem is we were taught nothing about this. And they're designed to change what's going on in the emotional mind. These higher faculties can change the paradigm, but we were never taught how to use them. We grew up, no knowledge how to use those. And as a result, we're not living the way we want to live. Now look at, school gave us valuable knowledge. However, school never taught us how to alter the old paradigm. Therefore, we frequently do not do what we already know how to do. Look at, superior knowledge, inferior results cause confusion and frustration. Look at this for a moment. Here's a person with all this knowledge. They've gone through school, but they're not using it. Why? Well, if you take a look at the results, it's obvious they're not using it. Their paradigm is control of them. Now you take a look like at a young fellow like Juan Jimenez, who comes from the jungles of Costa Rica, and he's earning today hundreds of thousands of dollars. every month. This is almost unbelievable. And he did not have higher education. Now, I'm betting he didn't. I don't know, but I'll ask him that when we start. Now look it. We want to keep studying here. We want to make this thing work. You've got to build a new paradigm. You want to build a new paradigm. That's what these seminars do. Now, do you know, every Thursday at 4 o'clock, I'm here. You've got a couple of 100,000, 300,000 people in your company, and yet they're not here. They should all be here learning this information. And they say, well, I don't need it. You do need it. You need it to help somebody else do better than they're doing. That's what life is all about. If you think this is just a matter of getting all the money and, just having a good time, life is really about what you can do for somebody else. So keep looking. Keep studying this. Now, what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. Now, this is really wild when you stop and think about it. There's one of the wealthiest, or one of the most brilliant people that ever lived. Albert Einstein. He said the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. He said, we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. See these higher faculties? You have perception. Your perception is your point of view. It's how you see things. Your perception is how you see what's going on in the world. You have memory. Do you know there's no such thing as a bad memory? Everyone has a perfect memory. It's just that most people don't use it. They never develop it properly. Your memory, just the same as muscles in your arm, can be developed through exercise. You can exercise your mind. You have imagination. The imagination is the most marvelous tool. Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, said the imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivable, powerful force that the world has ever known. He was right. Then you have reason. You've got the ability to choose to live however you want to live. You're capable of doing anything you want. Then you have intuition. Intuition is the way God talks to you. Intuition is where you pick up vibration and translate it in your mind. And then you have the will. The will is the mental faculty that gives you the ability to hold one idea on the screen of your mind to the exclusion of all outside distractions. These higher faculties are designed to help you change your paradigm, but you've got to learn how to use them. And we're going to be teaching you in the classes that we're doing here at 4 o'clock every Thursday. I would recommend you get all your friends in here from all of the people in IM, because this information is too good to miss. I'm going to show you all the things your paradigm controls. Now take a look at this. I want you to look at all the areas of your life that your paradigm has enormous control over. Your paradigm controls your perception. It controls how you see things. You change your perception, whatever you're looking at changes. Your perception controls your use of time. Do you know, everybody gets the same amount of time. It's what we do with it that makes a difference. Look at, let this little sand timer represent your life. The sand in the top of the glass represents the future. Sand in the bottom represents the past. No one knows how much sand there is in the top of the glass. They act as if they've got enough sand for a couple of centuries. And sometimes they don't have a couple of hours. When I was a young guy, my grandmother pretty well raised me. And Grandma used to always be saying, I'll soon be gone, dear, I'll soon be gone. She was probably maybe 60 at that time. I thought that was very old. I've changed my mind on that. Grandma was saying, I'll soon be gone. Well, do you know, Grandma was with us until she was 94. Grandma had all kinds of sand on the top of the glass. And she thought she only had a little. Now, I chummed around with another young guy, Bob Yates. Bob turned 16 about a half hour or about half a month ahead of me. And he got his driver's license ahead of me. He was coming into Toronto on a highway. He had 16 gallons of red paint in the back of a little panel truck. And he ran head on into a cement abutment. His life was cut out, bang, just like that. If you had asked Bob a half hour before how much time he had left, he probably would have said half a century. He didn't have a half an hour. So here's my grandmother, when she was 60, thinking she'd soon be gone. She had another 34 years. Here's my friend Bob Yates at 16. He was gone. He thought he had a half a century. He didn't have a half an hour. You don't know how much sand you have left. But I'm going to tell you this. Your paradigm controls your use of time. It does. It controls your use of time. Your paradigm controls your creativity. Your paradigm controls your effectiveness. Your paradigm controls your productivity. Now get this. Your paradigm controls your logic. And your logic controls your ability to earn money. I want you to bring Juan in here for a moment. You do that? Juan, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Of course.
When you met Alex, what were you doing?
Honestly, I was studying medicine, but my family couldn't afford the med school, so I was doing my thing. You know, I was working, washing cars for all my neighborhoods.
If Alex had told you you could earn millions of dollars, did he tell you that?
Yeah.
Did you believe him?
Honestly, yeah.
You did believe him.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
Yeah, I mean, it take me the time, you know, to really believe, to really thinking millions, but I do believe that I, you know, could become that person.
Have you earned $1 million?
Yeah.
It's not even difficult, is it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that it's harder to be healthy.
Listen, all these things change as you change your paradigm. And that's what you've done. You've shifted your whole conscious way of thinking. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Okay, well, let me come back here then. We'll give you some more of this, and then we'll come back. All of these areas can change. Now, look at this. It's almost like you have a mental wall around you in all these areas. And whenever you go to change, you hit the wall. Well, when you make a decision you'll change, that wall comes down. All you had to do was make the decision you're going to change the paradigm, and the wall comes down. Now, that doesn't mean anything changes, but it means that you don't have that wall around blocking you anymore. So stay with me here. When you make a decision that you're going to change, I'm going to tell you the change is huge. Yet if you don't believe me, ask Juan how big the change is. And I'll tell you something else, it's permanent, because he's learning how to invest the money that he's earning. This is what you can do. Everybody can do it. Everybody doesn't do it, but everybody can. If you just worked at changing your use of time, your money would skyrocket, your income. And all you've worked on is changing how you utilize your time. See, we all get the same amount of time, so it's what we do with it that makes the difference. Your income would skyrocket. Now look at it. It's all in awareness. You're gaining awareness. There's a marvelous inner world that exists within us. And the revelation of such a world enables us to do, to attain, to achieve anything we desire within the bounds or limits of nature. This is so true. and so misunderstood. Mind is where the opportunities originate. When Alex met with Juan, Juan's world changed. Now look it. Edison said, I know this world is ruled by infinite intelligence. Everything that surrounds us, everything that exists, proves that there is infinite laws behind it. There can be no denying this fact. It is mathematical in its precision. I had the good fortune of meeting this man, Eric Hoffer, in 1965-66. He was a grand old man. He was quite an author, too. He wrote a great book, The True Believer. He said, in times of change, the learners inherit the earth. Well, the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. See, there's no such thing as a learned person. You're either learning or you're not. That's just the way it is. If a person thinks they're learned, they stop learning. There isn't any such thing. There's no such thing as an educated person. It's not something you fill up and put a cap on. You're either learning or you're not. I love the way he put it. To learn, you need a certain degree of confidence. Not too much and not too little. If you have too little confidence, you'll think you can't learn. If you have too much confidence, you'll think you don't have to learn. So you see, both of these areas are very important. Now let's look at your goal. There's no end to what you can do. I want you to decide exactly what you want to do and write it on a card. Write it on a card. Look it. I've carried a card in my pocket with my goal written on it now for the last 60 years. It's helped me earn millions of dollars. I sat down in 1973 in a house on Maplewood Lane in Glenview, Illinois. That's a suburb of Chicago. And I wrote down that I was going to build a company that operates all over the world. About a month ago, I went into the den in our home to watch some TV with my wife. And I just sat down and I thought, I don't want to watch TV. And as I went to get up, my phone rang. And it was Mikey Steller, who's the chief operating officer in our company. She said, Bob, the company just went into every company in the world. We operate all over the world because I wrote it on a card. And that kept me thinking about, I want you to write your goal on a card. Now I'm going to show you what will happen when you do that. The X represents your paradigm. It does not want you to grow. You've got to override the paradigm. That paradigm will cause you to think. Now you've got a power flowing into your consciousness that you think. You'll think X-type thoughts because they're in harmony with the paradigm. Now, you can think Y-type thoughts. What is a Y-type thought? A Y-type thought is what Juan Jimenez here is thinking every day because he's earning all kinds of money. He's thinking thoughts of earning millions of dollars. However, when the average person starts thinking that way, they run into trouble. Now, on a conscious level, Alex or Juan can sit down with a person and show them how they can actually earn millions of dollars in this company. But the paradigm causes them to lose it. Now look at, when you try and mix a Y idea with X-type conditioning, it doesn't mix. There's trouble in River City. Look at, this is where you hit a terror barrier. When you go to impress Y upon X, all hell breaks loose in your mind. You hit a terror barrier, worry, fear, and anxiety strike. Now that's exactly what happens when a person that doesn't understand their mind, when they set big goals. Worry, fear, and anxiety strike. They hit a big barrier. How do you get past that barrier? Well, let's think of this. Joseph Campbell said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Do not let fear stop you. Say, absolutely not. You go crashing through it. So when that terror barrier comes up, You say, no way. And you just go on right through it. Now, when you do that, all hell breaks loose inside of you. You're doing what you really desire to do, but the old paradigm's still there. You got the XY thinking. That causes a lot of uncomfortable feelings. Don't let the uncomfortable feelings stop you. Hit right into it every time, okay? You just keep impressing the Y idea, and I guarantee your life will change. You're only limited by weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. There's no end to where you can go, what you can do. The sky is the limit. I want to thank Juan for coming on with us. And let's bring him back on again, Scott.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Juan. How are you?
Doing great. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm stoked to be in the same training right now with you.
That's so good. Tell me, what questions have you got, Juan?
Honestly, one of the main things, I've been studying you a long ago, and then I heard this way before, and it was something that chipped my mind, and it was the thing that you're the only problem, you're the only solution. So based on that, what will be the advice for the new generation on how to overcome this situation? I mean, not only financial, on the health aspect as well.
Well, when we think something's stopping us, it's our thoughts that can stop us. We've got to get rid of all those thoughts that we can be stopped by whatever there is. We want to make up our mind that we're going to go right through whatever's in front of us and keep on going. When we have negative thoughts in our mind, that's what's stopping us. We have the ability to switch to its polar opposite, the positive. So I think a person has to realize that they've got to do it. I cannot do it for you. You've got to do it for you. I can help you, but you've got to do it. You've really got to believe that what I'm telling you will work, Juan. Now,
I agree.
what Alex told you was the truth, but a lot of people heard it and they didn't believe it. You've seen a lot of people look at this and they wander away. They think it can't happen. It can't happen. They think it can't happen to me.
Exactly.
It's your responsibility, Juan, to help them understand it can happen.
Yeah. It's creating the belief system in the team.
That's right. You see, I think Alex and Dave and all those people right at the top, they've done a phenomenal job. They help people really understand what I Am Academy is all about. This company is changing the world. Chris Terry is a very interesting guy. He has a big idea. He has no problem at all thinking really big ideas. And you just want to think like him, Juan.
Thank you.
You
Appreciate it.
keep listening to Alex, and I guarantee your life's just going to keep getting better. Is it Alex that got you interested in investing in real estate?
Yeah. I've been working with him as well. Yeah, on real estate more.
That's good. Real estate has
Yeah.
never gone down. It just keeps going up.
And it's always there. You know, you can touch it, you can feel it.
Do you have any other
That's
questions,
true.
Juan?
Yeah, I have another question. Talking about mentors, this is a question that I always had, and is how important is to add value to your mentors, and which are the ways that you can add value to your mentors?
Listen, I would not be where I am if it wasn't for my mentors. Mentors are so vitally important. I think we've got to respect them. And I think when we first start, we don't realize the value of the mentor. The mentors change our lives because they believe in us when we didn't believe in ourselves. they get us really thinking of doing something that we never thought we could do. I have had maybe 6 really real mentors, and they're all dead now. All of them, I've outlived them all. But they were phenomenal people, and they changed my life. I believe everybody should have a mentor, and if they haven't got one, they should get one, because mentors make a difference. There's no question about it.
Yeah. And what's the way that you add value to your mentor? I mean, mentors help us in giving us the belief and giving us the knowledge. What ways I can add value to my mentor?
You add value to the mentor by doing what the mentor asks you to do and tells you to do. And then by helping other people. You take and transfer it. The mentor gives it to you, you give it to somebody else. That's how you add value to the mentor.
Okay.
How many do you have in your organization?
How many people do I have?
Yeah.
Over 25,000 people.
See, none of them would be there if it hadn't been for Alex Morton. None of them. Over 25,000 people. And none of them would be there if it wasn't for Alex. Well,
Yeah,
you added value to Alex by working and bringing people in and helping other people understand you got to bring people in, because there's a chain link there to that. And I think that's how you add value to the mentor.
That's great. Yeah. And that's a great way to see it. And also is like the nature form that, adding value to your mentor.
That's right.
Appreciate that. And I have another question. As you know, Art Nightingale, that is one of my favorite as well, said that your conscious levels is going to give you your results. I was wondering what are the activities that you can do on your daily basis that it can help you to increase your conscious levels?
Study every day. Study every day. Set aside at least an hour every day to study. There you go.
All right. Yeah, preparing yourself.
Yes, you've got to keep studying. I'm going to send you a gift, Juan, and I've got to make sure that Matt gets your address, your phone number, and your email address. We need your physical address as well as your phone number, not just your email,
Okay.
where you live, so I want to send you a gift. I want to thank you very much for coming on here. You are an excellent example of what this company can do. A young guy that come out of the jungle, didn't have much, but Alex saw something in you, and he was right, and you have developed it. So I want to thank you very much for coming here. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And I want to wish you all the best in the future. Just keep going up that chairman ladder, Juan.
That's the goal, and that's gonna happen. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. Appreciate you, and hope to see you.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you. Have a good one.
And I want to thank Matt. Okay.